Yeah, and speaking of Casey Kasem, that corporate centrism that brought us Hollywood and the show Happy Days and all the Nick at Night programming. You see that's what they always do, this bait and switch. First they give you MTV or Leave It to Beaver on and then on MTV it's got music, right? Then they switch it up. Oh, now it's all about reality programming, and we're going to teach you how to ruin your life by acting a fool and copying that behavior. So, what we need to do is focus on radical centrism, meaning we're going to have to replace what pop music gave us, pop culture, Hollywood. We're going to have to be the generation that realize that we're being sold up a river by the same people that got us hot and bothered about Star Wars. They handed that. You know, George Lucas was a genius because he was able to both make a ton of money by doing what Jews always do in Hollywood, which is they are masters of the core knowledge of how to run humanity. They learned that from King Cyrus of Babylon. Okay, so meaning that they know what is the human story, and America is this Zionist, artificial Jewish, Judeo-Christian, pagan construct, just like Star Wars, in that it's one thing to talk about these values, but really all they do is talk about these philosophical values in order to get people to follow you. And then we have we're at the end of the American experiment, which was all not a real experiment, I don't think. I think that the aristocrats, these founding fathers, all those people were of wealth, of these insider families. And they had a fake Star Wars, fake freedom extravaganza that we called America. And people thought that they became free when they didn't, right? And now people think that they're going to become safer by giving away their everything to the internet as a copy of the Christ Savior, Messiah. So now people don't want freedom. They want to not be bothered by too much information on the internet. They want to not, have to fear school shootings and all this stuff. So you see what I'm saying? That's how the people that know how to make money off of people and know how to manage other people know that they're gonna, okay, grandpa's gonna get cranky. We better have his chicken soup ready. You know what I mean? And then you get this master slave thing because of our combined human behavior. We're all responsible for where we're at. So now the thing that people want, the grass is always greener on the other side. Now people, like, the internet's a perfect example because yes, we're talking about politics on the internet, but we're depending on the internet regardless of what your values are. That's what's really making things happen, right? It's not even so much about your access to capital as it is your access to information and your perception of yourself within this global village, right? That's how the same people that make capitalism make communism, and that everything's about transferring over to communism, which is more focused on controlling human behavior from the top down to get this result. Okay? Now, speaking of radical centrism, I want to direct you to, let's look over here at this post that started all this. Okay, so Darren Groves got a hold of James Sanders. He said he hadn't heard about this topic. We have an exchange about Zionism. Looks like a lot about there. And so James and I don't know each other. We're having a conversation. And he says, okay, it's official. We'll be adding this into a spot on tomorrow night's broadcast. And here's what the broadcast is. It's Don't Fear the Future, I guess is the show, by James Sanders. And I don't know who else. But this is the real meat of this video if you've been watching. What I'm looking for is, this is a call to action. And ultimately the action, more importantly, specifically, it's going to be, hey, join me. Go check out this guy's show tomorrow night. Check out this archive, this episode that they've already been talking about, the gun debate situation, if you want to brush up on that. But more importantly, I'm looking for other people to join me in participating in radical centrism. And I can tell by listening to, I assume it's James that I'm hearing here on Infinite Source Broadcast Network. And okay, so he, and I got this video going, this point of view going here before I even listened to some of this episode. And then when I listened to the episode, I'm like, he's talking exactly like I'm talking about, radical centrism, right? And I look at it like, I was very influenced by the Battle of Seattle protests when I was there around 99. And what I learned from that experience is that I learned something from that experience. I housed some people from British Columbia that were there for the event. So that was a way that I chose to help out. And, at one point there was so much tear gas thrown that even I picked up the tear gas and threw it back. And I was surprised to see how helpless the police seemed, and that they're all just sitting there waiting to be ordered what to do. And they don't have a lot of, control over what goes on. And they're in a real similar position as us, where we're sitting here waiting for somebody to tell us what to do. And that's dangerous to me. But my point is that, and obviously looking at these hashtags, I mean, I guess these are more describing, it doesn't matter what you define yourself as. I mean, it matters, that's like where we come from, right? But it's called the United States. Eventually you're going to meet on the field of battle or in the workspace, however you want to define it, in the play zone, whatever. And you're going to either cooperate or you're not going to cooperate. You know what I mean? We need to really reinvigorate the concept of the United States of America. Where do you see any unity? So the problem is that the America and the pop culture that we did have was created by the elites. And after they established the United States as a nation, and then you had Henry Ford and Madison Avenue created this consumer culture. So America was used. Look, everybody, copy America. Oh, okay. And now they can protest better than we can over in Hong Kong. They can do America better than we can. Everybody knows somebody from some other country that either is still over in that other country or is a newcomer to this country, and they understand the values of what America is supposed to be better than most of us do. So, um, what I'm wanting to do is to get people to go check out this podcast, but more importantly, I'm wanting us to start helping each other out and have that grow over time. I don't want to just have a podcast or videos. Other people do that well. And I want to utilize those resources like I'm promoting it today. But more importantly, I want us to learn how can we network off the cuff, right? Um, that's what that's the only card that the strong, independent, cooperative humans have left, is to be leaders and demonstrate to the rest of the people who they will consume what you have to offer, whether it is an album to buy, a book that you wrote, a website, real estate to buy, or if you can demonstrate a better way to make use of your time every day online so that it leads to real world solutions because you're learning how to coordinate with other people in your actions instead of just look at me, it's all about me, narcissistic, woo, we got enough of that going on. We need to start helping each other out, all the way from, I'm talking about, little stuff that I have to do today in my personal life, all the way up to these big picture things. We are able to incorporate who we are into this model for the way things are going to go for the future. But it's a closing window. If you've got Elon Musk as before the end of the year, they're going to be hooking people up to the computers, that's the end right there. That's really slow, then everybody's going to start thinking they've got to jack into the internet to be able to do anything, to be equal. To the computers. You see how that trick works? They've got us to hate each other so much that we would rather hang out with the computer than other people. Or you've got people that have good people skills, but they're like, there's no reason for me to actually know what the hell's going on in the world. My job's to watch football. Really? That's it? So I've rambled forever here, but I hope somebody understands my point, is that I want us to start running plays. I want us to start helping each other out. I want us to track this. I want us to, because if we can get a group going, right, and people start noticing on different people's pages, hey, look, that same group is doing something here, here, and here. They're having success, right? That is a puzzle piece of how to be happy and productive, by developing this protocol for, instead of just how do you get a pickup basketball game in the park, it's how do we make some headway on this school shooting issue. Doesn't matter what the issue is. What matters is, you know what I mean? We got to start developing protocols and tactics, what actually moves the ball ahead, as opposed to just sitting here and being hit in the face with what's the news story today? What are we talking about today? You know what I mean?